Hi, welcome to another one of Jeffrey's holiday videos. Today I'm at Lowe's looking at their Christmas decor. They got a lot of Christmas out at my Lowe's, so I'm gonna make a video. First, we're starting on the ornaments. $24.98 for any of these packs of ornaments. Then they got a bunch of small sets of ornaments. Can go with a lot of different themes on Christmas trees. And then they got all these ornaments. They're all $12.98. And then they got all these lights for outside. They don't have too much set up yet in this section. The GE lights are pretty nice. I have them. And then they have like a lot of stars that go on a Christmas tree. And then you kind of see how these lights would look on a tree or outside. And then they have a lot of different icicle lights for light shows, orchestra of lights. And then they got those candy cane. The pathway lights are pretty nice. And then they have projectors, LED spotlights. And then you can kind of see how some of those lights look. All right, so now we look at the Grinch. They have a giant Grinch for $3.98. They have a Cindy Lou Who, $148, and a Max for $128. Then they have a lot of different wreaths for $34.98. And they do have the Rudolph stuff set up, but they do have a person selling things, so I'm not gonna go over there. But I do promise I'll get another video showing the Rudolph items in the future. They have a turtle fishing for $69.98, octopus $69.98. Parrot, I can't see that price. A peacock, a cactus. They have a giant dog for $99.98. Another dog, $59.98. A cat for $59.98. A dog for $59.98. All right, and then they have a tree for $199. $99.98 for those ornament bulbs. $329 for this giant deer. And then they got the tree set up, but I don't see a price. And then they have all the inflatables. Lady, $34.98. They got Eeyore, Mickey, Minnie, Bluey for all for $34.98. The rooster, $54.98. The snowman and Santa Claus, $44.98. Scooby-Doo, $34.98. Lighted Carl for $34.98. SpongeBob, $34.98. Stitch, $34.98. Cindy Lou Who, the Grinch, and Max for $34.98. And they have a dog for $69.98. They have a nativity set for $99.98. They have an octopus for $199. They have this deer for $139. Then they have the Grinch for $99.98. And then they have lighted Bluey and Bingo for $159. Santa and the airplane for $159. And then they have a lot of ribbon for $6.98. And then they have a lot of different picks that can go on a wreath or on a tree. And then we will look at some of these decorations up here now. They got the tree for $84.98. They have the snowflake for $84.98. They got the candy cane for $84.98. They got the Merry Christmas sign for $64.98. They got the gingerbread boy and girl. Looks like you get both for $99.98. That's not too bad, 50 each. And then they have the car for $84.98. And then they have a bunch of pillows. Tree collars. And they have a tree for $39.98. They have a bunch of trees. I like that light up tree. That's pretty nice. I'm not sure the price, but that is very nice. And then some of the village. Really nice. Lowe has some really nice village sets. And these are some of the prices for some of that stuff that was up there. And there could be stuff that wasn't up there that's also for sale. Gingerbread Ferris wheel for $119. Just a lot of cool stuff. That mansion is $129, and they have a lot of snow blankets for $5.98. So now we'll look at some of the wreaths. $129 for that giant wreath. And there's garland for $29.98. And they have a lot of cool stuff over here too. They got the Grinch tree for $99.98. And then they have the Grinch for $99.98. They have that Merry Christmas Grinch decor. Beware Grinch lives here for $159. Peanuts, Snoopy, Woodstock decor for $149. They have a giant Bumble for $139. The Christmas lamp for $69.98. Then they have some ornaments. And then they have a Charlie Brown tree lot tabletop decor. And they have a bunch of Grinch items. And then they have this, the Grinch. Animated decor. And then the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who blow molds. And that's just that neon sign that was on display that I showed already. That leg lamp, Snoopy. This is just a lot of stuff that was on display I showed already. Here's a giant Mickey and Minnie and a neon Goofy. Stitch. A bunch of Stitch stuff this year. That's nice. That's that $179 for that light up decor. That's really nice. And then there's the gingerbread boy. And then there's the snowman for $34.98. The dinosaur. The Eeyore blow mold, $59.98. Now, my Lowe's doesn't quite have a lot of the blow molds yet. There's a lot still to go. There's a Dumbo. There's just a whole bunch that's not here still. There's a gingerbread blow mold, a pixie elf blow mold, a gnome, stormtrooper. All that stuff hadn't arrived yet at my Lowe's. Gingerbread boy for $84.98. A Bluey, a Grinch, and a Snoopy for $99.98. All right, this has been another one of Jeffrey's Christmas videos. I hope y'all have a great day, and I will be back to show you more. They have a little bit more of light up decor that I didn't show this video that I'll come back and I'll show you that, and then I'll show you the Rudolph gang when I can. Y'all have a great evening.